Hi everyone. So for toxic positivity, in the previous video I did meander a little bit because this is a topic where I've examined it in a lot of different ways and I have a lot to say. So sometimes I get switched from topic to topic. So if you don't have the right authenticity in any relationship with your partner or a friend or a husband or a family member or even social circle, what happens is we are denying the core essence of our existence, because the core essence of every human being's existence is that, especially on earth, is that we will have positive and negative experiences, and from the positive experiences most of us only want to retain and hold on to the positives, and when a negative experience occurs most of us are wanting to shut down the negative experience or the consequences of the negative experience. But if we do this, it causes some toxic positivity traits to arise within us, because if we deny the core soul essence of an experience, we're denying the experience of being human. Because if you are having a positive experience all the time, constantly, like say you love comedy shows and you're always watching comedy shows, you love romantic shows and you're always watching romantic shows, what is going to happen is whatever thing you love and crave the most, you can develop an addiction towards it. You can develop an addiction which is unhealthy rather than an attachment that makes that positive experience a pleasure or a happiness and joy bringing experience. As a result, if we are continuously just seeking one or a few range of positive experiences in our life, and we are not understanding what is the value of the opposite of that experience, we end up going more and more deeper into some kind of addiction. Someone can go into an addiction of earning a lot of money. Someone can go, because yes, earning a lot of money when not using your time to also spend that money is a kind of addiction. What kind, I will explain about in a money related video, but it is an addiction. If you are just wanting to pursue love continuously without understanding that in a experience of love with one partner, or if you have had in that experience with a couple of different partners, in that also, if you get addicted to something that is wrong for your soul growth, soul need, learning for being on earth, it will become like a addictive experience with that partner than a balanced and right kind of positivity experience, because right kind of positivity needs a little bit of negativity also to occur in a relationship. Like if you are always just at a happiness high with a partner and you didn't have any troubles or any challenges happening in the relationship or outside of the relationship that brings some challenges in your life, will you value that happiness? People have done, psychologists have done studies where the gratification studies where people have been given a bar of chocolate and continuously been given a bar of chocolate. Now if you are sad and depressed, and chocolate is known to increase our happy hormones and make us feel happy, many of us, that's why, enjoy eating chocolate. Now if I enjoy eating chocolate when I am sad and I do that occasionally when I am sad, it raises my happiness at a much higher level than if I were to eat chocolate every day. Then it becomes a chocolate addiction, or it becomes a chocolate addiction. You can eat it every day as well, as long as your body is not showing signs of distress or your health is not showing signs of distress of eating, say, one piece of chocolate every day. But say in one sitting today, after 1 week I have limited myself from eating chocolate the whole week, but today I will eat 10 chocolates and make up for the last week's lack of chocolate. That is also an addiction if I'm eating 10 chocolates in one day. And I have had addiction problems with sweets. I've had addiction problems with certain kinds of foods. As a result, what is happening to me? My liver is getting damaged, because liver, anytime you are adding a lot of toxins of any kind, and even though chocolate is supposed to be beneficial, it can also become a toxin when you eat 10 chocolates in one day. Same way, if someone wants to commit suicide, there are people who have taken normal medications that they are supposed to take that pill once a day. They've taken 100 pills in one day and tried to commit suicide. Why? Because by taking that hundreds of the same medication, they can trigger some negative response in their body, because their body system is overloaded then. So that's why addiction is a problem. That's why addiction of even the positive kind is a problem. If you eat something that is not just physically eating, emotionally eating, spiritually eating, anything that is just continuously on a repeated loop of something, that is an addiction that causes harm to our health. So while addiction stems from something that is lacking in our life, we have to take the charge within us to control that addiction. Otherwise, what will happen? It ruins our life. And sometimes, in order to make us take charge, universe will send us other people to stop us from getting addicted to something. For example, say I am just addicted all the time to watching a TV series, and this literally happened to me actually. I was for a year time, after I didn't have a job, I got completely addicted to watching TV serials on social media in different platforms. And while I was watching and getting addicted to those social media, the second kind of addiction that was happening, and the reason was I didn't have deep, meaningful soul connections in my life, and I also didn't have a job to give me life purpose. So these are the two things that triggered my addiction towards watching a lot of things on social media. And while I was watching it, I also got some friends who were also as addicted like me towards a particular TV serial. So all of us was so, and not initially it was not addiction. Initially it was like a emotional attachment to that serial and its characters and whatever they were showing in that serial. And why did all of us gravitate to that particular serial also? I may someday post about it, but it was essentially something missing in our life. That serial was about love, it was about romance, and it was something we are craving in our life. But because we're not getting it in our life, and majority of the people watching the serial were women, because women are the ones who feel this need for love. They have this actual realistic need for love and deep connection in their life too, because they are not getting it. When we were being raised by our parents and family, many of us didn't get the true, deep, meaningful love we are craving for. And if our parents and grandparents didn't get it, it is a generation after generation of less caretaking of the women, less caretaking of the female child, less focus on the female child, because the man child was bringing the money, man was the provider of the family, man was doing things outside of the family, so he needed to be nurtured and caretaken. And it was a valid response when only men were working, or when only men were going outside the home to fight the outside world. But nowadays, women are also working, women are also capable of doing many things that men do, and as a result, men have also now got to start doing the things that women have done for generations and centuries. And if men stay in denial of this, or women stay in denial of this, it results in a toxic positivity response. If a woman is in denial, she will continuously say her husband is a provider and provides her everything, even though in her life her husband is only financially providing and she is also financially providing. But if she continues to insist that her husband is providing her everything, is he? No. Because if a woman has learned how to provide in the home front and outside the home front while working and bringing finances to the family, the husband has to now provide, being a father and a caretaker. then only a balance will be achieved in their relationship. If he doesn't provide the equitable balance and harmony needed in their relationship, and if the woman also doesn't voice it out, or the husband doesn't allow the woman to voice out what is amiss in their life, can they ever evolve to a balanced way of living? No. That's why all these videos where divine feminine or twin flames related experiences are showing up, or ascension related, awakening related videos are coming up nowadays, is because we all have to awaken to something that needs changing, something that needs changing within ourselves, something that needs changing within our relationship with our partner, something that needs changing within our relationship with our parents or children, something that might need changing within our relationship with our friends, something that needs changing within our society. That's what every level of ascension is about. Now, if someone is in the stage of experiencing one-on-one love and is seeing, and they came to learn about it, they came to teach about it, those people, if they exist in toxic masculinity, femininity, or positivity, these are all toxic versions of living in denial that we are having a positive experience when actually some very deep core negative experience is manifesting. That is also toxic positivity. Toxic positivity is also when you don't want to hear that you think you are perfect, and you don't want to hear another's viewpoint as to what you might be doing wrong, that is wrong for evolution of either you as an individual with the person who's expressing what is wrong, or you as not just as an individual with that person, but you and that person, if you manage to express it to each other in the right way, understand each other in the right way, perceive what needs to change in the right way, you both can develop something that needs to be changed. And once you both have developed that, you both can then increase your circle and bring that change for other people. But say you are continuously having a toxic experience with a partner or a family or a friend or someone where you can see where the change is needed, they are not able to see where the change is needed, or both can see where change is needed, but they are not able to express to each other in the right ways how that change needs to be brought about, it will cause a toxic relationship to manifest. And if both people are in a toxic positivity mindset, they will manipulate each other in trying to bring that change. But if you're in a toxic positivity mindset, that manipulation, what will happen if both are trying to manipulate each other, they will go like this in the opposite direction. Because say you want to go this direction, but you're trying to point to the opposite direction because you're a manipulator, and you're hoping that if you're going in this opposite direction, your partner will pull you to this direction. Same way, if this person is also being manipulated and he also knows actually that you have to go in this direction, but he is also pulling you towards this direction, thinking that this partner will pull them in this direction and you will go this way. Can you do it? No, because you're both going in opposite direction. Instead of communicating in a way so that first you have the proper communication and then redirection to go this way, that can happen. But that can happen only if you drop your toxic positivity, you drop your manipulative tactics, and you're both aligned in the same path. Then only this direction will unfold. But if you both, maybe one is manipulative and other is not manipulative, they are saying also in the straight way, again communication barrier is there, because they are pointing this way and trying to manipulate you into a response, but you're not the kind who wants to get manipulated into any response. You want to just try the direct approach. Can you talk with a person who's wanting an indirect approach and you like a direct approach in life? No, again there is a communication mismatch. Even if I understand this person likes an indirect approach, even if this person understands this person likes a direct approach, if they don't develop a system where part indirect, part direct approach are needed to go forward, they'll never meet each other in the right way to go forward again, right? So these are all aspects of toxic positivity, toxic masculinity, toxic femininity. Because In toxic femininity, what happens? Manipulation happens. In toxic masculinity, what happens? Manipulation may not happen. They want a direct approach, but the man will only say one word. But women don't need one word. Why is a woman saying 10 words when a man says one word? Is because women need a little bit more information. So now what these men and women have to learn, the woman has to learn to shorten her words, and man has to learn to expand his guidance. Then only they can get guided together. Or if woman has a life plan of guidance, then man has to also understand that she has the better life plan, she has the more overarching life plan. So in the overarching things, in the things there which needs many things to be done, the woman has to take lead. In the things where only one thing has to be done, the man has to take lead. And again, when I'm saying man and woman, don't use it like a strict role model, because it's about masculine and feminine traits, not about just man and women. That's why also in twin flame relationships, if you're reading videos or watching videos where sometimes people go into tarot reading or guidance based readings, now if you watch those videos, what happened with me was, when I was listening to divine masculine readings, sometimes that would resonate. When I was listening to divine feminine readings, sometimes that would resonate. So when masculine and feminine readings both are resonating for you, it means that you're going into a more and more aligned masculine feminine space. You are becoming a balanced divine masculine feminine. Just like how Lord Shiva's one form is the Shiv Shakti joined together. When you are balanced with your masculine and feminine energies, you will have partly the masculine nature, partly the feminine nature in you. All of us have it, but some of us have it in a balanced way, some of us don't have it in a balanced way. When we do healings, energy healings, meditation, grounding work, exercise, whatever de-stresses us, prayers, talking with friends, different people have different mechanism of de-stressing. So while you use those mechanisms of de-stressing in the right way, when you are not addicted to any of those mechanisms of de-stressing and positivity in the right way, you become a balanced masculine feminine energy holding person. And when you have understood that, when you have become balanced, when you have realized where you're going off the path of balance, you can slowly learn how to come back into balance. That's why many of us do also, while in the ascension journey, also have to descend first a little bit. If you aren't descending, you're not realizing, and if you are descending, that is an opportunity for you to realize where you are going wrong in your ascension process. If you're going off balance with your partner, if you and your partner are kind of wavering in an opposite direction, it is possible that first both of you have to learn something from going in that opposite direction, and then coming and meeting and merging again in the right direction. In toxic positivity, what happens, if we are going in the opposite direction, people start getting fear and anxiety and thinking that because it's not a separation, seems like a negative experience, they get worried, anxious, fearful, what will happen after separation. But if you are truly positive, if you truly hold faith in the process of your life journey, if you truly have faith in God, know this: if you are going in an opposite direction from your partner, eventually you will come back together again if your paths are meant to merge, and when your paths are meant to merge. Because again, that separation that happened, say, with your partner, many people have this fear with not just fear, many of us have experienced that in the past with, say, our parents or siblings or friends, or even heartbreaks and divorces and separations from our partner. If we have experienced that grief of that separation, betrayal from someone who wants to do something very differently from us, and we are not aligning in the same page, it brings all of us a lot of grief and suffering and loss. But in that grief and suffering and loss lies the path towards how not to be in grief, how not to be in suffering, how not to be in loss. if your parent is not understanding that you are supposed to do certain things in a new way because you have awakened to a new way of living. They have not awakened to it yet. You can try to awaken them. You can take a couple of tries with them over the period of years, or in 1 year or 2 years. You can try it with them. But if they are not awakening, what does it mean? It just means you are not meant to awaken them. There could be someone else who's meant to awaken them, or a group of other people who is meant to awaken them. So you have to leave that job. But if I am in a toxic positive mindset that I am the only one who can awaken my parent, I will be stuck in a negative pattern and conflict filled zone with that parent, and I will not be able to awaken them. Right? Why? It could also be that their awakening time is not right now. Their awakening time could be 10 years later. And in that 10 years, as a child, I have to master awakening and teaching maybe someone else instead. Someone who is like a father figure, maybe someone who is, for whom I can be a father figure. Because if you have a resistant father or a resistant father figure in your life, why do you think I became a balanced, or I'm going towards being a balanced, I'm not yet balanced, but I'm going towards being a balanced masculine person? Why? I have both balanced masculine traits and feminine traits that are coming into alignment and in balance for me. But I could learn that also specifically because I had parents who didn't address their toxic masculinity based traits and toxic femininity based traits. They weren't able to balance it. But as a result of that negative experience where I didn't have parents who knew how to balance their femininity and masculinity traits, I learned from them indirectly. So I have gratitude for learning from them indirectly. I learned directly from some other sources who were in balance, who were able to bring the balance. So I learned more from outside the family life than inside the family life. But does that make my experience negated because I didn't learn it from the family life? No. And does that also mean that I have to be toxically positive that my parent taught me everything? No. So in Indian culture, when they say be respectful to your parents, it's true that you have to be respectful to your parents. But apart from parents, there is a bracket. It says mentors and guides. You be respectful to your mentor and guide, and sometimes your mentors and guides may not be your immediate parent. It could be a parental figure. It could be Father God. It could be Mother God. It could be anyone from whom you have learned something. That's why when you are to be respectful, you are to be respectful to the learning that you got from someone, not to a person. This is why in some religions they are teaching not to worship idly anyone. Idol worship doesn't just mean don't worship an idol of God, because sometimes having an idol of God helps us bring an image of God in our mind. But idol worship, IDOL, idolatry, that's spoken about in Christianity, is also about idolizing someone. Don't idolize that which is not there in them. You can idolize that which you see in them. You can idolize that which is actually present in them. But you shouldn't idolize that which isn't there. That is what, when someone is saying don't indulge in idolatry, that is what it also means. Like, say you love a sports person. You love them for what? You love them for the talent at the sport that they do that brings you joy about them. But can you just idly, IDLEY also, worship them and idolize them for qualities they don't possess? If, say, they're great in sports but they are not so great in their family life, should I idly worship them and emulate them for everything they do in their life? Or should I only worship that which is worth worshipping in them? You honor that which is good about them. But and you can honor that which is bad about them, but in that honoring, what do you have to do? In that honoring, the honor that you are bringing to them is the teaching that if you have seen someone be very crappy as a spouse in their personal life, you should worship the fact that they gave you the knowledge of how to be better in your family life. That is what you worship. You don't worship that's why you don't just worship a human being idly, you worship that which you learn from them. Does that make sense? And this is where toxic positivity comes into play. If you are toxically positive as a idol worshipper of someone, as a sports person, as an actor, as a writer, as a director, whatever you worship about someone, or whatever you really feel fascinated and connected to when they have brought something in your life that you really enjoyed. It could have opened your mind, it could have opened your soul, it could have opened your emotions. Whatever they brought into the table, you can love them for what they brought that was good. But if you idly worship them or have toxic positivity towards them, you will not have the quality to be authentic with them if they are doing something that isn't right. And there are people who are needed to say things that aren't the right thing, because not everyone is a balanced masculine and feminine. Not everyone knows how to balance and see things in the right perspective. There's only one right perspective about many things in life. But if you don't see even in a bad thing, there is sometimes some right perspectives. Even in a good thing, there's sometimes some right perspectives. But if you don't crystallize out that right perspective, you will not know how to be authentic and how not to be a toxically positive person.